Rubber baby, bubby, 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 bub.
I don't know much, but I know some breweries and distributors as well.
Welcome back to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, season 2, episode 5. I'm Eric VC, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite Mike and Ike, Dave and Adam, and together we're the VC boys.
I want to be like Ike.
Say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Say hello, Adam.
Oh, I guess I'm Mike, but which are they actually split up individually? Is there a certain Mike taste
Well,
to the candy?
that's my youngest daughter's favorite candy. And
Wow, she likes candy from the 60s.
I have no bearing on that whatsoever. I just know she likes that, and I've always wondered, like, since, you know, you got Mike and Ike, which are two things, but there's like 5 different assorted flavors or some nonsense. So
Yes.
how does that work?
Those are gummy. Those are really chewy.
They're
things,
gross
right?
gummy
no,
things.
they're delectable.
Ugh,
I think
The
they're
ones that are
probably
bad,
pretty
like,
good.
they start getting into like
they're like a
alternate
bad
flavors.
version of Jelly Bellies.
What? They came out way before Jelly Bellies.
They're jelly candy. It's just jelly candy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Eric is just.
Eric might be getting controversial
He's
here.
about to walk down a road.
They're
He's gonna
gross.
go down.
They're
You
gross.
know not
They
the
remind
path
me
you
of the
tread.
4th of July and eating too much gross candy.
Well, that's your problem.
For this episode, we read Lord of Chaos, chapters 19 through 24. To begin, we will review the chapters we've read and view from Dragonmount, and then cover our favorite moments of those chapters and what shook your Willow. Next, we'll discuss the Wise One's dreams and Fortell Me Now, followed by a conversation about Sammael's incredible transformation in Sammael Presto Chango.
Which is kind of like a Transformer action figure. He kind of, Presto changes and transforms, yeah.
We'll then talk about the change we see in
Oh.
Egwene in Time and Time Egwene before moving on to our Coplin of the Week and who leveled up. So let's kick
Dave
this
is getting
episode into
psyched.
full Joe Kart mode and review our chapters with our view from Dragonmount.
Joe Kart, 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
That's right.
Eric.
Yeah.
Look at that little spicy little tidbit he put in there.
Little something he's throwing in. Zing!
Chapter 19,
Were you
Matters
excited
of
to say
Toe.
that? When you wrote it, were you like, did you check the mail?
he's like,
No.
I got
This
this
seems
one
like
for
a
these
good
two
idea.
guys. They're not
Right.
expecting what's coming.
It was the highlight of
Joe
my
Kart.
week. I'm going to say Joe Kart, and Adam's going to go gonzo.
Oh, and we did. I mean, Joe Karts are,
Matters of Toe.
Oh,
The chapter begins as Rand
That
lays
was
down to
strange.
sleep. It seems Rand is now sharing his dreams with Luce Theron. Great.
well, okay. Let's just get this ball rolling.
I did. The ball is already rolling.
Right. So
You're
we're
just
gonna get
rolling with
even
it.
further. I know we've debated the whole is Rand crazy, but
Is he crazy?
now I feel like so is he just sharing this with himself or is he really sharing this with somebody else? Do we feel like we're getting more evidence that this is indeed somebody else in his head or this is just Rand crazy?
My original position hasn't changed. I still feel like there's 2 separate entities here, but I don't feel like this is definitive proof. This could still be either
I don't think
one.
it's definitive, but I feel, what I said was, do you feel like we're perhaps getting more evidence that this is indeed two different things?
The only thing that I feel like is the solid argument is the fact that he knows stuff he shouldn't know. He knows how to do things with the one power he shouldn't know how to do. That's the only evidence that I could present to show that these are 2 distinct consciousnesses versus just somebody with a psychic snap.
I feel like the writing is presenting us a way that it seems like it is someone else in there because there is
In these chapters, it happens.
Yeah, Jordan mentions the fact that Rand for a moment feels like what it's like to feel like Luce Theron, and he feels trapped inside another body, and he wakes up to it, and he's like aware of it. That could be Rand going crazy, obviously, but it seems like the way that it's being presented to us in the writing is that it keeps being brought up that he's a separate being.
In this set of chapters, isn't there an instance where like Luce Theron says something and Rand is like,
Yep.
Is that you? Like, are you
Yep.
real? And then he eventually goes off into some other diatribe.
It's in this chapter. Yeah.
Okay.
It's within a couple paragraphs of this. We're getting more and more dialogue between these 2 entities. For sure.
And I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like we're getting
we're
more
heading. There's definitely a trajectory developing here, and it'll
seemed
be
like a good
interesting
time
to
to bring
see
this
where
up.
it takes us. So Rand
Thought
wakes
so.
up with the sun, and his dreams have suppressed his appetite, so he passes on breakfast and walks to the gathering of Aiel and nobles for Cairhien and Tyr.
As opposed to him waking up to a daughter.
To inform them he will be leaving shortly for Andor, Berelain tells him the hanging of Mangan will take place soon.
That just sounded...
The hanging of Mangan.
Mangin. Hanging and banging.
The hanging of
Down
Mangan.
to the hanging of banging.
Hang-
That sounds like one of those
That sounds like more of the fan
motels
fiction.
that they stayed in.
Hanging and
yeah.
banging.
It's
the
an
fan
hourly
fiction. I'm
hotel.
telling you.
The hanging of Mangan will take place soon, but Rand says he won't stick around for that. The gathering follows
on
him.
To me, it's really anticlimactic. Like, we had this whole, or climactic for that matter, we had this whole conversation between the two of them. About, Rand's, okay, this sucks. He knew him since he, helped come over the wall, take Tyr, blah, 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 blah. And then Rand's just like, well, I can't stick around for everybody who's going to get hanged. And that's it.
Well, Rand already went through the whole thing with the decision-making process where he had to determine to hang the man in the first place. That's really where the conflict occurred.
It's interesting the difference between how Rand deals with it with a male compared to a female. With this guy, he's just like, yeah, okay, you did that. You got to die.
There was much more of a struggle to it than that. I think the greater struggle was with deciding to hang him in the first place.
True.
This
So
is
now he
just
just
the
moved past
straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's unpleasant for him. He doesn't really want to be there for it, and he's not going to. But the Aiel seem to think it a great thing and something worth celebrating for some reason.
Yeah, they're just kind of...
Rand's procession follows him to the door he uses for traveling, at which point Berelain assures Rand she'll keep Cairhien safe, while the wise ones chide Aviendha about something. Berelain asks Rand to mention her to Perrin
Same
and Matt
thing.
before he heads into his traveling chamber.
Man, that girl does not give up.
She does not.
Wait,
give
what'd you
up.
say?
She's got a
Claws.
mission, and she's
Yeah.
got it in her sights. Doesn't matter who that mission is. She's going after it.
What do
Aviendha
you
and
think she's
Mullane
gonna be like
join
with
Rand, and they
Saeed?
step through the gateway to Caemlyn's throne room. Immediately, Alana's presence comes crashing down on Rand, and he can tell that she's been crying. Rand leaves the throne room for
As
his
if Rand-
quarters,
Rand doesn't have enough people in his head.
and Aviendha follows.
Do we know where Alana is?
Camelin.
No, I think that those two have left Caemlyn. I think they've left Caemlyn at this point.
Yeah, they were taking the girls back to the White Tower, so
Yeah.
maybe they're, yeah. Well, she's obviously somewhere, he's somewhere near-ish to her.
I think they had decided that they were going to head towards Saladar with the girls from Two
right,
Rivers.
because they weren't going to take him to the White Tower. Then.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think they had
yeah,
decided
salad
not to do
days.
that.
Salad days.
Rand leaves the throne room for his quarters, and Aviendha follows. Rand asks Aviendha if Amis and the others have told her where Elaine is. Aviendha informs him they don't know, and then Aviendha goes on to tell him of 3 dreams the wise ones have had of him. The first dream is from Mullane and Bear of Rand on a boat with 3 women whose faces are unseen and a scale tilting back and forth.
Who could that be?
The second dream is from Mullane and Amis, where there is a man with a dagger to Rand's throat, and Rand can't see the man. The dream continues with
Wow.
Rand cutting the wetlands in half with a sword. Rand can't determine the meaning of the first dream, but he thinks the second dream involves a gray man.
I don't
The
know
third-
about that one.
The third dream was had by all 3 wise ones and has rain coming in from a bowl. The bowl is surrounded by snares and pitfalls. The right person finding the bowl is the difference between Armageddon and the discovery of a great treasure. The key to finding the bowl is to find the one who is no longer.
Hey.
Rand tells Aviendha
Simple.
she's free to return to the wise ones for more training, but she says she'll not go and makes a comment about Toe. Aviendha leaves Rand and heads out into the hallway, where we realize that Aviendha is really struggling because she now has Toe to not only Elaine for sleeping with Rand, but Rand because he saved her life.
She's at war with herself.
Chapter 20, From the
And
Steading.
the wise ones.
Chapter continues with Rand sitting in his apartments in Caemlyn's royal palace, guarded by Cassin and Leah. The servant Barri rushes in and informs Rand that 3 Ogier have arrived at the palace and are requesting an audience.
Wonderful.
Rand goes to
Wait,
meet
are we going with Ogier again instead of Ogier?
Ogier.
Ogier. Yeah,
We're
it's
going to
a-
go with
Rand-
whatever rolls off the tongue. at the
Yeah,
moment.
Rand goes to meet the Ogier in a fountain courtyard.
Apparently now it's Ogier.
The Ogier are surrounded by Sulin and some maidens, as well as Uriel and some red shields. The Ogier elder introduces himself as Haman, and the woman Ogier as Kovril, and then the younger woman as Aerith. Rand dismisses the shield maidens and talks to the Ogier. It turns out Covril is Loyal's mother, and she is none too happy with what she has heard Rand has had her son doing. She wants Loyal returned so that she can see him married to Aerith. Haman is concerned that Loyal has been away from the steading for too long, and Aerith indicates it's been 5 years. After learning that 5 years is a long time for an Ogier to be away from the steading, Rand informs the Ogier that Loyal is in Two Rivers.
This would be a great point for us to finally figure out how long it was that he was gone before Rand met him so that we could actually get an idea of how long time has passed.
I mean, it's been 2 years.
Ish?
Yeah, I think he was out 3 years. So
3 years.
Just reading those books, though.
Right.
Before they can leave at Aerith and Covril's urging, however, Rand asks Elder Haman if he'll tell Rand where all the gateways are.
Maps. I need maps.
And then Rand yells for maps.
I would love to see them.
We talked last episode about Rand's arrogance or lack thereof. This is the one moment when I can really see him kind of ordering people around. But
it's a snap your fingers, snap your neck moment.
At the same time, he doesn't have time to be pleasant with people because these Ogier are on the verge of deciding not to do what he's asking them to do.
Right.
Rand wonders something that we've wondered as well. Why hasn't one of the Forsaken simply traveled a legion of shadow spawn through a gateway?
Apparently they can't. I mean, that's the only thing I got.
We would conclude that because it hasn't happened, but we still don't understand why.
They can go through the ways.
It doesn't make it right.
I don't understand why either, but I mean, Padon Fane did something.
He's above and beyond everything, though. He's something else entirely.
Did he go through a gateway?
No, Padon Fane
he's used the ways.
Not that we know of. He's used the ways.
Yes, the ways.
We're as confused as Rand. Haman agrees to show Rand where the gateways are, or where the way gates are, and shows him the locations on the maps that Rand has ordered. At the end, Rand asks him if he'll show Rand the way gate at Shadar Logoth.
There's another Jordanism here of women do not become exhausted. They only exhaust others.
Yeah, we get another instance of Jordan's weird sexual politics.
It's all over the place in these chapters.
Yeah, except in the Aiel culture, you get more of the women are put out by the men than the other way around. You still
they make the same comments. It's all the same comments. It's like a man can't deal with a woman, but a woman. Yeah, it's just the hardest thing in the world is to deal with a woman.
This seems a little more one-sided. My loyal. Yeah.
She kind of bugs me.
So that conveniently takes us to chapter 21 called To Shadar Logoth.
This is Adam's favorite. He's been waiting to discuss this.
The chapter remains with Rand informing the Ogier that he can travel them to Shadar Logoth and save them days of travel time to the Two Rivers. Rand thinks that he doesn't care if Haman tells the Ogier elders that Rand is a bully. Has Rand really bullied these Ogier here by requesting their help?
It's a trade. It's an even exchange, in my opinion.
He presses them for sure, but I don't think he berates them or, abuses them into doing something they don't want. He's going to be doing them a favor.
I think the only thing is that it's a huge cultural difference. They're so slow moving. They take forever to talk.
They're
and then
entish.
He's like, nope, we're just going to zippity zap this way. Bippity boo.
He does do some bullying to get them to do it fast and do it now. But I
think he's clever.
He can't afford to wait for their timing.
No.
The world can't.
I think it's more cajoling than bullying, but
there we go. The Ogier agree, and Rand takes Sulin, Urien, and a guard of Aiel along with the Ogier through his gateway to Shadar Logoth. Upon arrival, Eldar Haman directs the group to the Waygate. Rand weaves a trap around the Waygate, and just as they're about to leave, he realizes someone is missing.
He's got good head for numbers and how many people are there.
I just think it's really interesting that Luce at this point is thinking to himself, I must kill Damandred.
Damandred, I'm not sure. Yeah, I wonder why he would think that.
We don't know of one, but that certainly would suggest it.
Seems like it.
But he never appeared there during the Trolloc Wars.
This just all of a sudden pops up.
It is strange and something worth noting.
And then there's another voice, and it's the same thing, and he just keeps saying, I remember at last killing a Sammael. He deserved to die. Lanfear deserved to die as well, but I'm glad I'm not the one that killed her. And then Rand asks how he killed Sammael, and there's just no answer.
Right, and then it's at that point that Rand thinks it's him.
I want to die here.
Rand thinks that because he mentions killing a Sammael, Rand thinks that, wait a minute, am I talking to myself here because I did that?
Yeah.
Or the alternative is just that it's someone witnessed it. You got a passenger in your body who watched you do these things.
We've gone from Rand like just going, well, this is weird, this is stuff going on, to Rand going, okay, Lews Therin is clearly in my head, to now Rand not being sure where Lews Therin ends and Rand begins.
Yeah, which is a great question.
It's been a slow burn, but I think it's pretty well done here.
It's very well done because it's happening very, very slowly, which you can do when you have a bunch of books.
There's this other great thing going on with Rand and the Aiel women. There's this whole thing he's doing with Sulin where he keeps putting Sulin in her place, telling her what to do, and like the whole courtyard scene where he was getting Aiel go or whatever, where they had X amount of time, the count of 50 or whatever, to summon all the maidens they needed before they could go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's becoming more authoritative with them and just expecting them now to obey. I feel like he's decided, okay, if they're going to stick with me, which they're going to seem to do no matter what I do, at least it's going to go my way.
He's reached a good balance with them, I think. I think he's finally accepted the fact that these women are going to be in battle with him and die. And since he's going to allow that to happen, he's also fine with ordering them like a commander or a captain.
I think that's great.
He's also losing himself so much because he's just angry all the time now. And so he's reacting that way and trying to push it down, but he's still acting out of anger and trying to get people to...
We're back to book
do
2.
what
Is he angry or tense?
Or stressed?
No,
Right.
later on it talks about how he's trying to push down the anger and trying to get a hold of it. This is happening here as well, I feel, with how
I
he's
think
directing
that's when
people.
he's using the power, right?
It had to do with losing the power. It also speaks about how he interacts with people and the anger just comes out.
So Sulin says that the missing person is Leah. Rand has the Aiel go in groups of 2, and as they and the Ogier look for...
It's Leia, because there's another Leah.
Leia. Eventually, they have to give up the search as the sun sets and the threat of Mashared increases. Because of the late hour, Rand agrees to take the Ogier all the way to 2 Rivers because he's not going to be able to get them out of Shadar Logoth before the sun sets.
We know Rand's not going to let
I have
that
a
one go.
Question here. Hammond talks about that he could lock the Waygate again with a talisman of growing.
Right. Whatever that is.
How did Loyal close it before?
He used one of the Alvin whatever the word is.
He took the Avendasora leaf off.
Yeah. Leaf. Okay.
He snapped the
snapped
leaf
it
off.
from the other side. But apparently...
So we don't know what the talisman of growing
No,
is.
Hammond's got some master key that can do something.
That wasn't talked about in the first book with the Green Man?
Not that I've ever heard of, no.
Okay.
I think this is the first mention of it.
What happened to Leah or Leia? Or Leia?
She's gone.
I think we're going to find out what happened to
She's
Leia at one point.
she's been Mashared.
Do you think she's going to become the love interest of Padam Flynn?
Right.
I sure hope not.
I mean, this seems...
I hope that
this
poor
is a
girl's just
very
dead.
weird chapter. Like, what is the purpose of this chapter? It's got to be Leia's disappearance.
She's got to come back.
She's
because
got to come
what else
back.
would it be? I liked it because it was bringing us back to
Yeah,
where
it's
they
great
had
to go
been
back to
before and where
Shadar
everything
Logoth,
kind
yeah.
of fell apart.
Yes.
But you are 100% correct. If she doesn't come back up in this is a very strange...
Which means either she's going to escape there or we got to go back there again.
Or she just turns evil. And
Right. She
shows
creates another
He
evil.
escapes.
Right.
I don't think you can escape.
Oh, Podden Fane escaped.
Wasn't he alive?
Did he?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Was he alive?
I don't know. Well, yeah.
We don't know
it
that
took-
Leia
Yeah,
is-
I'm not sure how that works.
You can escape. The thing wants
Yeah,
you
I mean,
to
Matt,
escape.
all of them
It wants you to
escaped.
take it with it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she's dead.
Seems
And
like
that's a
strange-
crappy thing.
Right.
Because if she's dead, she can't escape with it.
I'm
Whereas
also
Pod
hoping
and
she's
Fane was
dead.
alive and escaped with it. So,
For her, I'm hoping she's dead because that's
Right.
not a good way to exist.
no. No one wants it, and we don't want another Pod and Fane around.
Well,
Okay.
I don't think she could be anywhere close as that, because that was just...
That we know of.
Well, I mean, she could have, but I mean, this is the whole discussion that we had before about what is...
Well, but right, but once again, remember,
What is
Pod and
Pod
Fane
and
was
Fane?
originally a servant of the evil. Like, he was touched by the shadow to begin with. So he had
Originally?
that evil, yes. When he came into
Right.
there, he was a hound for the shadow. So he had that evil to begin with, on top of his own personal evil. And she's just who she is. Maybe Mashared up. Who knows?
Pod and Fane seems to be... What's his...
Gollum.
No.
Wormwood.
The guy who was...
Oh, the guy who
Mordeth.
was...
Mordeth.
Yeah, Mordeth.
Yeah, Mordeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think that Mordeth would be, if you got touched by that and you got away and you're... No, because Matt didn't deal with Mordeth being inside of himself. I think that's just Pod and Fane, right?
No, Matt was dealing with Mashared. Mashared was in the dagger.
Yeah. That's so confusing. Yep. I don't think we got
It's semantics. I mean, yeah.
Well, Mordeth was a person. Mashared is the evil.
Right.
Mashared is a manifestation of the evil. It's
of
not
all
the
the people
evil.
of the city, yeah.
Chapter 22, heading south, shifts the scene to Matt, who is halfway between Morona and Tyr. Chel Vannon, one of Matt's scouts, takes Matt ahead of his army to a caravan of tinkers
Chel Vannon.
that have been brutally murdered. He's brought Matt to the scene to see a particular man who has written, "Tell the Dragon Reborn,"
The Tinkers, the poor
in
Tinkers.
blood on the side of a wagon.
Yeah.
Anybody got any guesses what this message is for? Tell the Dragon Reborn.
Maybe repeat it one more time. No, I literally do not know what, unless this is Pod and Fane massacring these people to send another message to the Dragon Reborn. By the way, I hate you, and I've not forgotten about you.
One option is Pod and Fane trying to remind the Dragon Reborn he's still around.
Yeah, that he's, I'm coming for you.
So that would be Pod and Fane then writing the message in this man's blood. The indication is that this dead man wrote it.
Because who else is going to murder Tinkers unless maybe, okay, once again, we got a couple options. We've got Pod and Fane. We've got...
I don't think it's Pod and Fane, because he was talking
Shido.
about at the end of these chapters about how, like, what he could do to mess with Rand. I feel like that would have popped up. He would have been like, "Oh, I killed all the Tinkers."
Maybe.
Maybe not.
We got
Could
the
be him.
Shido
Yeah,
also.
sure, could be him.
There's many things, actually.
Yes.
It could be. We got the Shido. We've got
Could be the
the
Forsaken.
Forsaken. Could be the White Cloaks.
Could be a rogue.
Who
White
knows?
Cloak.
Yeah. Or it could just be brigands. Or it could be the crackpot Massimo. Who knows?
Could this be the Tinkers that Rand originally met and traveled with?
They went to the Two Rivers.
Right.
That's because What's-His-Face became
And then they
Aram,
left.
And they left, which leads me to think Pod and Fane because of his association with the Tinkers while they were there, when he was there and they foiled his plans and blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's a
either.
mystery.
But they did tell the Dragon Reborn.
Not yet.
The Dragon Reborn.
Matt returns to the army and tells the group they will set up camp while burial parties attend the Tinkers before heading to his tent. Sleepless, Matt leaves his tent to peer at the sky on a nearby hill, and a sound catches his attention. He turns and looks back to his tent to see it surrounded by a group of Aiel. The Aiel furtively enter his tent and, not finding him there, begin to look around for him outside. Talmanis reaches the base of the hill on which Matt is resting and starts
Rather
drunkenly
saucy
shouting up to him.
Talmanis.
But before Talmanis stumbles into the Aiel, Matt alerts the camp and they defeat the invaders.
Invaders!
Returning to his tent, Matt
My
is
Iron
trying
Maiden
to
moment
determine what made the noise that drew his attention to the Aiel around his tent. He discovers some rope that has been cut way too perfectly, and upon further investigation realizes that the Aiel must have been sent through a gateway.
Great, now I've got the bloody Forsaken after me.
So we just had Rand musing about the fact that no Shadow Spawn have come through a gateway, and yet here come tumbling Aiel through one.
How many times has Matt seen a gateway?
I
Probably
mean,
a
Matt's
bunch with
seen Rand
Rand,
do
yeah.
it a couple of times.
Couple? Yeah, he was around then. Yep. That's really spooky.
The Aiel aren't necessarily Shadow Spawn.
No, right.
So now we're seeing that, okay, You can send minions of evil.
Right, people other than
things created
Power
by
rod.
Trollocs,
Right.
for example. Yeah.
Right.
Cookpot things.
So maybe it's a human beings thing?
Maybe, yeah.
The gateway is discriminating. It won't allow non-humans through.
Apparently, it's a bigot.
It's a bigoted gateway.
Right.
Well, that's pretty good magic if you
Selective.
chose to do that
Right.
originally when you.
There's a filtration system on the
Right.
gateway. It won't allow certain sediment
zap.
through.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're too filthy. Goodbye.
That is strange.
It is odd.
In the midst of his concern, Ulver wanders into the tent and freaks the heck out of Matt.
Oh, I'm tired of this kid already.
Matt had expected
me
the boy
too.
to be unloaded in Morona, but that didn't work out
I was
because
hoping he was.
apparently the woman just wanted the money.
He's so whiny.
Talmanis, manservant, then enters and offers to stitch up Matt, which Matt accepts. While being mended, Matt and Ulver continue their conversation, and Matt hires Ulver as a messenger.
Yes, my lord is not a side of beef. Whatever he says when he's stitching him up. So good.
Stitching him up very poorly.
Ham-fistedly, I think is what the phrase is.
This is why these people are also scarred, is because the suturing of their
Not high quality.
is not the best.
They don't have a traveling RN with them.
I just imagine those goth punk drawings where the stitches are like half
three.
pulled off on sleeves and stuff, and that's what I imagine Matt's flesh looks like now.
I like the fact that Matt was looking at the constellations for a bit, and it's interesting to think about what
their constellations are?
what are their constellations?
There was Hawain, high overhead, and the five sisters and the three geese. There's more than
I remember.
three.
I do remember.
There's also
this
the
now,
archer,
because we
the
have
plowman,
seven. We
the
have seven. We
blacksmith.
have Pleiades. We have the seven sisters, and then we have this. We don't have three geese, but we maybe somewhere. We
That's
have
going to be
geese,
the
but we have
Northern
the
Cross.
swan.
There's the
That's gonna
plowman,
be
the
the Northern
blacksmith, the
Cross.
snake, and then the one they called the dragon. There's also the shield, Hawkwing shield,
I love the plowman.
the plowman. They call me the plowman.
How does Matt know that there are dark friends amongst the Aiel? By the way,
Well, because those Aiel were sent to kill him.
His girlfriend tried to kill him.
Right there, yeah, her. Let's not forget her.
yeah, okay.
The one she
I
said she
mean,
really
they were
wishes.
fake, but
That was a
Matt
great
will
one.
never
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
that. You might, but he won't.
Right.
No, yeah. I was actually thinking about like people that grew up in yeah. She
Okay.
did.
She did.
It's too bad.
And she admitted that she was one. That was a sad moment.
Chapter 23, To Understand a Message. So we're now in Ilion, where Sammael and Grendel chat about stasis boxes and
BBW.
Agonor's creations. It seems Sammael has found a stasis box. Hadn't we determined, or wasn't it in the prologue, didn't they mention that none of them had been found yet?
I don't remember that at all.
I'm pretty sure, because we had a conversation about a stasis box and they were desperately looking for them because they wanted Angreal.
Was he part of that conversation? He being
He
Sammael?
was. I don't think he was there for that meeting.
Okay, well then.
But he's got one and Grendel has one.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What is a stasis box?
It's like in the D&D
It's Santa's
world,
magic bag, where you can hold stuff and it can't be destroyed, apparently.
and it can hold like
Mary
multiple
Poppins.
things.
We learned that the worms that chased Rand and company at the end of the
Actually have a name.
Eye of the World were untransformed Jumara,
Jumara.
creatures made by Agonor. We also learned that Agonor made the Golem as well, and
Whatever
that
that is.
Well, it was mentioned before.
No, we still don't know what it is.
and that Grendel was almost killed by one,
Killed by Golem?
a golem.
Mm. I wonder if that was when she was not with the Shadow or when she was with the Shadow.
I would imagine it's when she was with the Shadow, but maybe not. I mean, they fight amongst themselves.
They do.
And Agonor doesn't really seem like a great guy.
He seems pretty evil. Not as
And pretty dead.
not as lecherous as No.
Well,
we
he's
don't
not
think so.
Agonor anymore.
No, he's not Agnor anymore. He's whoever she is.
What's her face?
Him and
young.
Balthamel. Yeah.
Is it? It's Balthamel that's the female. though.
Balthamel's the female.
Agonor's
Agnor's the
a
guy.
male.
Yeah.
The two dueling swords.
Yeah.
Sammael flat out lies to Grendel about how Rand received Sammael's request for a truce.
Kind of a big deal.
Grendel's surprised by this because she's aware of how upset Rand is over Sammael's warriors killing maidens of the spear.
Like, wouldn't you think that would be like the one big tick off for her to be like, yeah, no, you're lying.
Yeah, I mean, she's aware of Rand's views towards women, while Sammael is not at all.
This chapter should be called Plots Within Plots.
Well, this chapter should be called Grendel Doesn't Know Crap About Sammael.
I mean, she's thinking too far ahead to see what's right in front. The pink elephant, like yeah.
So Grendel is surprised by Sammael's control over his temper during this conversation as she tries to raise his peak several times.
I wonder if he's got trying to hold back the what's his face from the Pink Panther with his twitching eye, the Dreyfus twitching eye.
Yeah, his signs of madness.
Right.
As the conversation around the amnesty between Rand and Sammael continues, Grendel becomes more and more convinced that Rand has actually entered into a truce with the man. Sammael also hints at the fact that he's been given assurances of being named nameless. He's just going for it all. It's just like, if the best way to lie is to lie big.
The dealer dealt him 11, and he's doubling down in blackjack. That's literally what's happening. He's just like, I'm doubling down.
Yeah. That's right. I got a truce with the Dragon Reborn, and I'm going to be named Nameless.
I am going to be blameless nameless.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that, Grendel?
It's like from Pete's Dragon. Lies on top of lies.
That's a lie?
I do not.
Top of a lie.
Why is this guy's just falling apart?
He doesn't seem to be. He seems to be pulling it
pretty
together.
No, that's true. He doesn't seem to be.
He's pulling stuff out of his butt, and she's buying it.
This whole thing.
Like he's handing
calm
her
under
crap
pressure.
patties, and she's like, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" Ridiculous.
Well, that's true. I just can't believe. Yeah, that's such a blatant.
It's a big one.
Truce.
Yeah.
Need a truce.
But I mean, he's selling convincing lies, and he's selling them so well.
Sure.
She's like, "Well, if that's true.
It's
This
true.
must be true also."
Right. And he's using the Nameless thing as leverage to get the locations of the other Forsaken out of Grendel.
I imagine he's doing it with just this smug little smile.
Convinced that Sammael will actually become Nameless, she tells him the only Forsaken whose location she knows, and that's that Masana is in the White Tower.
Oh, kind of a big reveal there.
I thought we knew that already.
I think we suspected. I think this is the first confirmation of it.
Do we have any idea why Grendel is so fragile?
Probably as part of her backstory. I don't know. I wouldn't have ever said she was
First of
fragile
all, she's
until this
not.
moment.
Right,
Yeah.
she's not.
She seems fairly fragile here.
Here she does, yes.
She's obviously on edge.
She's been manipulating Sammael this whole time.
Well, not only
so
that,
this is a turn of the tables.
You got Forsaken dying left and right, so that would probably be a bit stressful on their part. And
left, right, and center.
And not only that, but these two are allies, and now all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, look at me, my little blonde bowl cut. I'm actually the master of disguise back here pulling the strings, and you best step two, otherwise you're going to get bumped off." She's like, "Oh, crap."
I'm the little Dutch boy.
Right. I pictured him with that stupid little bowl cut like we had when we were
I'm
younger.
the
Worse.
little Dutch boy.
Taking
I
advantage.
hate how you look. I love your cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking advantage of his position, Sammael leans on Grendel and tells her that she will find the location of the other Forsaken for him.
Like, yes, sir.
She's like, cool.
Which then brings us to chapter
beans.
24, An Embassy.
No, it doesn't.
An Embassy.
Letters.
So, the chapter moves to the streets of Cairhien, where Egwene is happy with the news that she has fooled the wise ones into believing her headaches have relented, and as a result, she will soon be able to return to receiving their guidance in the world of dreams. Great!
Sounds like it'll end well.
She overhears a former illuminator, apparently the Shido burned down the chapter house in Cairhien,
Burn everything down.
telling a merchant that the Aes Sedai are at odds, which concerns her. She continues on through the streets, thinking on how many spies must be in the city, and considering rumors. She also hears an exaggeration of the rumor that Swan is starting, that Aes Sedai were, specifically the Reds, were involved in false dragons.
A dragon.
When
I
she
swear they lied about a dragon.
Sees the backs of the Aes Sedai embassy recently arrived to Cairhien. She runs back to the Wise One's tent to inform them of the Aes Sedai's arrival and finds Bearlane sipping tea with them.
She's everywhere, that girl.
Yeah, no kidding.
Upon hearing the news of the embassy arrival, Bearlane asks leave to return to the Sun Palace and requests Amis and Rourke to her. Before Bearlane has left, Egwene asks subtly that she not inform the Aes Sedai of Egwene's presence.
You know, maybe you could just not
I
mention
know
that I'm here.
I know we're not on the best of terms, but there's this thing.
Please don't mention it. to these
I could get thrown into a Trolloc pot.
strange women.
She actually lies to Bearling, suggesting the Aes Sedai might capture another Aes Sedai, a.k.a. her.
Yeah. Good thing she's not sworn.
She's still entrapped by this ruse of being an Aes Sedai.
Of her own making.
Yep, seemed like such a small lie at the time.
Let's delve into the buxom Bearling for a moment here. I do find it very fascinating.
Word choice.
I find it fascinating that the Aiel, who hate everybody, it seems, are so fond of Bearling. Like, they kiss her on the cheek like a sister, and I think it's Ruark. She's like, please don't tell Ruark. I think that's what it was. But everyone else, can't count the men because they're fascinated with her beauty, but like, maybe the women hate her because they're jealous. I don't know, but the Aiel seem to be really good judges of character, and they're all up, about her. So I find this very interesting. And obviously, Egwene, I think, seems even more finding it very interesting that they seem to be Team Bearling, and then no one else really seems to be. And what are we to make of this?
Well, not no one else. It's
Who
mostly.
else doesn't,
it's
I think she's
just,
coming up.
It's just
though.
the other
Rand
women.
likes
It's
her.
just the three women we know. It's Egwene.
We know
Nynaeve,
she's
and
obviously got some.
she's
some not
incredibly
so great
flirtatious.
plans.
Yeah, she's
Say
yeah.
hello to Matt.
Well,
and
I don't.
Perrin
Right.
for me.
I don't know that they're not politically problematic, and they're not problematic necessarily for this story. They're just a nuisance.
Thus far. I mean, she tried to seduce Rand, we all remember.
She's flirtatious and
I think flirtatious
free.
is an understatement, but yes.
As she departs, she asks the wise ones not to reveal to Rourke what
Rourke,
they've
yeah, okay, it
been
was.
discussing. Cerelia seems to need some convincing. This is
Cerelia.
Egwene who asks this.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cerelia asks if Egwene is truly in danger of being taken by the Aes Sedai, and when she learns she is, tells Egwene she should
Just
not
stay
leave
here
the
for a
area.
while. Just hang out with us for a couple decades. You'll be fine.
Egwene leaves the tent when Rourke and two other clan chiefs enter. And that wraps up our view from Dragonmount.
Standing on the top, we're looking down on y'all.
Dave, what shook your willow?
Well, funny you should ask. At the end of the first chapter, we have the scene where Aviendha, the matter of toe, she steps out and she goes through this inner monologue of there's only two ways for her to meet her toe. She's either got to kill herself or kill Rand. That's pretty darn extreme.
It's Toe and Aiel. Yeah,
I mean-
I agree.
There's nothing less than that? Nothing else can meet it but these two things?
Well, because they're at such odds with each other. So first of all, what does killing Rand, what toe does that resolve?
Hers to him.
Right,
And killing herself resolves of her to Elaine.
right.
But then she would end up having toe to Rand that she doesn't know about because Rand saved her life. And then she just threw
she's
away
aware
what she
of that.
saved. Right. No, but what I'm saying is she's not considering that other aspect that if she killed
Sure.
herself, she actually would have double toe, but now she's
Right.
dead and she can never fulfill it. She's missing that extra bit of logic there. I just found this whole thing fascinating. This poor girl is in utter hell right now.
Yeah, yes.
Let's not forget about the fact that the wise ones have got her stripping her clothes off in Rand's tent, and she's in love with Rand. She's getting it 7 ways from Sunday, and it just sucks. And then meanwhile, Rand at the same time is kind of like, do I like her? I keep thinking about the time and the igloo.
Well, Rand knows he
Should I
likes
not be
her,
thinking
but
about
it's the way that she acts towards him that's totally confusing him.
Well, right, because one moment she's hot, you're hot, then you're cold. Yes, then you're no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that dynamic's great because I do feel it's very realistic. You're in that situation of what on earth is going on with this person? What is wrong with that woman? So I like this part. I found it fascinating and also just kind of sad. How long can she keep going on like this? Something's got to give.
Yeah,
absolutely.
she's under serious psychic pressure. It's making her life hell.
Mhm.
My Willow was the moment where Talmanis was standing drunkenly at the base of the hill atop which Matt was sitting, staring at the constellations, which we recently named. And he's unaware of the fact that the Aiel are sneaking around, and Matt's sitting up there on the hill and knows exactly what's happening. Matt wants to run away.
Shut up.
Matt
Yeah.
wants to run away, but he can't because he's got to save his friend.
Yeah. And apparently Talmana still puts up a fight, drunk as he is.
Yeah, drunk as he is. Yeah. Well,
In
you
his
know, you
small
don't
clothes.
feel pain as much when you're that intoxicated.
Eh, maybe.
How do you feel about that guy?
I love him. I think he's
Yeah?
great. I am all about Talmanas. He's fantastic. I feel like we're seeing a great character arc with him also. In the beginning, you know, he was just one of these lords that Matt would dice with, and you're kind of like, another one of these lords. Potato-faced Estion, one of his sidekicks. Potato nose? Potato face?
Potato nose.
But I feel like he's developing his own personality, him and Nelician. I feel like these two guys are proving their worth, and they're part of the hand now. They're legitimately stepped out of the tyranny of Tyr. That's great, more alliteration there. And they're just becoming like good guys. I like them.
Do you not, Adam? Are you not convinced about him or concerned about him?
No, I like him too. I think he's great. I just don't trust anybody at this point.
Oh, okay.
In reading
All right.
these books.
Well,
Fair
that's fair.
enough.
I mean, next thing you know, your idle woman's trying to shank you in bed.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah. What shook your willow, Adam?
Do we have any idea why Alana has been weeping?
Could be a couple
Well,
things.
remember that
Her warder
before the instance with Rand, she had been having serious emotional trauma dealing with the death of her warder.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that because it seems like it's coming up again. And
It's happened.
I
This is the
didn't-
second time.
I didn't know if it was just specifically because of that or if there was another reason that's creeping up, but
It's kind of like the creeping death. There's my Metallica reference. Just got it in there finally.
the bonding is just very interesting that it's just
It's
subtly
so
being
screwed up.
peppered in here and there.
It's putting stress on Rand. I mean, her emotional ups and downs are
All we see him is debt to get
when
us
he's
down.
close to her, are putting stress on Rand. To your point, David, they must still be in Camelin
Yeah.
if he's experiencing it this intensely the minute that he arrives.
Because when he
there.
goes to Carrion, it's gone.
Right.
So it's a proximity thing.
They must still be there or really close.
It's like your new smartwatch not being close to your phone, and you move away and you lose your signal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Fortell Me Now. Let's talk about the prophecies that the wise one's dreams give us. So,
Yes.
who do we think the man with the knife to Rand's throat in Mullane and Ami's dream
Well,
is?
it's definitely not the man with the golden gun. I'll tell you that much.
I don't think it is a gray man.
I think that's
like
too
Rand
easy.
thinks.
It's too easy.
So
Really?
what are...
Maybe.
Adam thinks it's a gray man. Okay,
Okay.
Adam's going with the
Adam's-
narrative.
Yeah, all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, not being able to see the face.
It's not just the face; it's the whole entity is
Yeah, the gray man you
unnoticeable.
just can't see. I don't know. Maybe
It
it's
could
something
be.
even more than
It
that.
could be loose
Maybe
Theron.
it's another loose Theron. Maybe
Yeah.
it's another
Could be another one of the Forsaken.
Forsaken. Yeah, that's
It could
true.
be Rand's
I
brother.
guess I was looking at it as a narrow perspective.
Rand can't see the man. That's what it is.
It could be Lord Luke. I mean,
Oh, if Rand can't see him, then
I think it's
Lord Luke.
I think it's somebody
Jeez.
close to Rand.
okay.
So it's
Okay.
somebody who is a traitor and Rand doesn't know it. I think it's our guy at the farm,
Oh, you think it's Mashared Taim?
Mazrim Taim. Yep.
He wouldn't need a knife though.
Oh,
Well, no, I think that's
That's
symbolic.
figurative. Yeah.
okay.
That's who I think it is.
But it could literally be
That's
anybody.
interesting.
To
Yeah, I
Adam,
don't know
what
how I
Adam
feel about
mentioned
that
earlier, you
guy.
can't trust anybody these days.
Yeah, I don't trust Masrim Taim.
No,
at
oh,
all.
for sure not.
I
He's-
trust Rand.
He is an
and
oily
Matt and Perrin.
snake
Right,
oil
yeah,
salesman.
Yeah.
I don't know
Um,
if I trust Rand.
Rand doesn't trust Rand.
Well,
Yeah.
Rand can't trust his own thoughts. We get the three women in the boat again. We've figured out who these women are, right?
Have we? Their faces are covered.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I have.
It's the same thing. Yeah, they're not showing their faces. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's a
some
theme.
random woman we haven't met yet.
Right.
Like
It's not gonna
someone
be
from
Min.
the sea lands,
It's going to be somebody
the sea
else.
folk.
Right.
It's Elaine,
no, that's Matt's
Avienda,
lady.
and not Min. But it is Min.
Right.
not
This
Min.
man. I want more of men in my life.
For sure.
They're rocking the boat of Rand's life.
Yeah.
But what
Rand
was
is
it?
the boat.
Bun rocking.
It was three women.
No, it's actually 3 coins in a fountain.
That Hasn't
Three
been sung in
women
a
whose
while.
faces are unseen and his scale
Or
is
should it be?
tilting back and forth.
What do you think that is?
I think the success of Tarman Gaiden depends upon
Oh,
these three women.
really? That's where you went with that. Okay. I was just weighing like he's trying to
Figure out which one he's interested in.
Right, because he's so torn with being in love with all three, or two at least right now, and the third is kind of being figured out, and he's kind of like, which one am I supposed to go? But I like
just
your take
raised the
better because I was
stakes.
just being way too literal.
I didn't take any of these at face value. I took them all as symbols of something.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right.
The third dream has the rain coming from a bowl. The bowl is surrounded by snares and pitfalls, and the right person finding the bowl is the difference between Armageddon and the discovery of a great treasure. The key to finding the bowl is the one who is no longer.
The second half, I have no idea.
There are
no
snares
longer?
and pitfalls surrounding
No, I'm
the bowl.
talking the second half with the
Is that
one who is
Matt?
no more.
Pears and snitfalls?
Pears and snitfalls. Snits and pearfalls.
Snares and pitfalls? Oh, the one. Oh, you mean the one who is no longer?
That's what I don't know who that is. What is that?
I mean, Matt died, but he's still
Find
living
the
now,
one who
so-
is no longer.
and he's doing way better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wait. Could it be the Green Man?
He's dead.
Right. He is no longer.
He's
Well,
no
you can't
longer.
find him then. Good luck with that. You're all screwed. In which case, Jordan.
I mean,
just set
maybe
us
you
up for
can
utter
find
failure.
maybe the bull can water the acorn that is the Green Man, and he grows again.
That would be quite the
I
stretch.
don't
Dun-duns.
mind that.
No, I wouldn't
like
mind that either.
idea.
I'd be really wonked out if that was the case.
I think that's a great little storyline.
They got to go
It
back
could
up into the
be
blight.
because we knew he died, but there was still that little like glimpse of
Sap.
I'm still here
Right. Yeah.
in the ground.
I'm not dead yet.
Right. Exactly.
The Green Man.
feel happy.
I did not think of the Green Man.
No, not at all. Nor should you.
What if this is another bowl, and that's one of the things
That's
that
too much.
the need originally took them to, and they just gave up on?
So it was actually the thing in the White Tower.
Right.
Was actually the
In the
real
storage
bowl,
room.
And Nynaeve screwed it up with her stubbornness.
Right. What if it's the bowl of rains?
Right. Roman Reigns is a WWE wrestler. His body's carved into it with his greasy hair.
So that was another thought I had.
The Green Man. You thought of that just now. You weren't thinking of that before.
I thought that maybe it was another artifact. It was
Oh,
another
okay.
relic.
I thought you meant you were thinking in your spare time. You're like, it's an acorn for the Green Man.
No, I did just
No, the
make
Green
that up
Man
just
is
now.
an
I
acorn.
made
So
up
yeah,
the Green Man
that to
thing.
me is the most intriguing thing, though, is who is this person that, because that could be so
That is
many
no
things.
more?
Yeah. So many
Well,
things.
it couldn't be that
Could
many
be
things.
Luz
I mean,
Theron.
it could be Luz Theron.
I mean, he's no more, but he is.
It's
Could be
either someone who has
Well, Podden
disappeared,
Finn is also
not Lord Luke.
Yeah, I don't like that Lord Luke. He's Rand's brother.
Yeah.
But
Who
Rand
else
doesn't know
disappeared? Land's brother. Right.
Land's brother.
Who else has disappeared?
Isn't Land's brother and Lord Luke the same person?
wait.
We've-
The one who
we've
is no more
hypothesized
is that
that.
Moiraine?
Oh!
Could be. But it also could be one of the Forsaken. Who knows?
Well, it could be that real pretty lady.
Laya?
No,
I'm hoping it's Laya. I want Laya to be
Oh,
dead.
maybe she is no more.
We all know Laya's not alive. That's for sure. Or
Ah,
if she
well,
is,
she's-
she's not alive in a good way.
I don't know. Perrin got out of there.
She's probably not alive.
Rand got out of there.
Those guys are Taviran.
They were being chased also. She had no reason to flee.
Flee,
Yeah.
flee.
All right, let's move on to Sammael Presto Chango.
Presto Chango. Recto.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Left field.
He sends a messenger to Rand that he is possessed. He kills the guy. He tells Grendel that the guy was always going to die, and it was just the manner of the person's death that was going to tell him what Rand's answer was.
Here's what happened.
Which, first of all, I believe.
Sammael used a portal stone, transferred himself to Second City, took a whole bunch of acting classes, portaled himself back, and started spinning this yarn and just went with it. Because my goodness.
He's just
this is
yes-anding
ridiculous.
Grendel right out of her mind.
Yes, and yeah, exactly. ridiculous. Like, all of a sudden,
He's like, would you
And-
believe?
the Academy Award goes to Sammael.
And also, I'm nameless. Yeah, that's
it.
the ticket.
That's the ticket. Unbelievable. Like, he is spinning a yarn.
Yeah.
And she is gobbling it up like a woman needing oxygen
And
after
the
drowning
Dark
in a lake.
Lord has a big golden throne that he's going to sit
I'm gonna be named
me
Nameless.
on.
Yeah,
and I'm going to
that's
eat
it.
bonbons every day. And you're going to wash my feet. Yeah. What is Sammael's endgame here? What is he trying to do?
He's trying to find out where the other Forsaken are.
He's doing more than that, because remember, once the chapter closes, he wonders if she ever guesses his true intention.
Part of it, I think, is get the Forsaken, but that's obvious. But the other, just manipulating her into being further onto his side so she won't go to anybody else because she's now knows he's going to be nameless. So he's got one ally firmly in his pocket, perhaps. Other than that, I don't know.
Is it
Do you
possible
think he's
that...
just trying to impress the Dark Lord?
Well, everybody's always trying to do that.
maybe. Yeah, sure.
He's gonna notice me if I do this.
The more I
My
lie,
acting
the more
chops.
popular I will become.
Yeah.
I don't like that
I don't
answer.
understand why he's pulling this.
What if he's actually just going to
always
flee
wanted to be a
Ilium?
banker, Adam.
A banker?
In this
Yeah,
case,
he's
it's
gonna
an
become an
actor, but
accountant.
He always wanted to be a banker. The banker with the banking.
The banking.
What if he's about to pull a fast one on all the other Forsaken who are relying on him to draw Rand's attention to Ilion, and he just is going to pick up and move?
I mean, he doesn't even need to move.
And that's what he's trying to fool
He doesn't need
Grendel
to move. He can
with.
just be like, "Nope, I'm good. I got to deal with the
Well,
devil."
he does need to
so I'm
move because
fine."
Rand knows where he is, and he's coming. Matt's coming for him.
There's that, but I'm talking about the other Forsaken. Like, as far as they know, he doesn't have to do squat because he's spinning this lie, and maybe he's thinking that she's going to spin this off to the other people as well. I don't know.
I love this turn. He seemed like a really big pushover for Grendel up to this point. She's had him
Really?
wrapped around her finger.
How have we gotten examples of that?
We had another chapter with a conversation between them an episode ago. This is a major turnaround
Maybe
here.
he likes
He
the
flips the
ladies.
tables on her. Nobody's got any guesses
I
as
just
to
went
what's
to where
going on
what
here.
I had. That's all I got.
I just think it's a big move to say that you made an agreement with Rand, with the dragon. I guess it would be hard to find out.
Well, he's
No
also
one's getting a
supposing that she
boardroom
doesn't
talk
have
with
her
Rand,
own
so-
spies somewhere else. What if she had a spy amongst the Aiel in that meeting, and then she called his bluff? What would have happened then? How would he have known?
Well, he took his shot. And
He
was
really
right.
did. Like, I don't know if he actually even
this just
considered
seems
that.
like such an easy thing to
Right.
figure out.
To
Right.
disprove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold move. I mean, I think he's really relying on the boldness of it,
Yeah.
and it works.
Th-
Those
this
acting
cannot
classes
end well
really
for him.
paid off.
It's not going to end well for him. I'm sure he's going to die at the end of this
Right.
book.
That's true.
Or
It would
a
end well
book.
for him, and
Someone's gonna die.
That's true.
We
It
see
makes
that in
it more
most books with the
interesting, I
Forsaken
suppose.
dying.
Like Dave said, he went to acting class, and
Mm-hmm.
He gets his moment of glory here
For that
before,
period of
before
time.
Rand offs him.
For that one brief period of time,
That one shining moment.
those acting lessons paid off big time. Whatever he spent on them
All
was
right.
well worth it.
Time and time Egwene.
Time after time.
In chapter 24, during her interaction with
I stand and watch it fade
those
away.
toughs
There you go.
threatening
I
to
knew you'd
pound
get
that
that.
man who was spreading rumors that Rand was a Forsaken, we see how much Egwene is absorbed of Aiel culture. Remember, she
She berates
tells
those
them
people.
that they should attack him one-on-one, that there's more honor in that than attacking him as a group.
First, she's insulted that they don't die. She's like, if you're going to die with honor and die fighting him one at a time.
Right.
She goes like two different ways with it, neither which are going to apply to these people whatsoever.
So the big thing that I got from this was, for an accepted who hasn't really had a chance to absorb the culture of the Tower and allow that to mold her ideology, she's instead going to
Shiato.
be an Aes Sedai with an Aiel ideology.
I kind of like that because the Aiel work and the Tower doesn't seem to be working. It's weird applying it to other people, but at least for herself, she's going to bring something different. That the Towers had so much of the same and so much of the same and so much of the same for so many years. Now she's bringing something new, and I think that's good.
Do you feel like she actually grasps the Aiel culture?
I think so. I think she does, because what she says there is exactly what an Aiel would say.
But even she is surprised by what she says.
But because
she's
it's
surprised
becoming,
by herself.
it's like by osmosis, it's becoming indoctrined into her.
Yeah, she's absorbing it. I don't know
Whether
that
that's
she's
good for her, I don't know, but I think it's great for the tower.
I don't know that she's like consciously aware of the ideological lines of Aiel culture, though she's certainly had conversations around Toe with Aviendha
She doesn't
and
have
the Wise
Aviendha
Ones.
at bedtime. Like that whole scene where Aviendha berates Rand for, do you know when a blacksmith is supposed to blah, 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 and whatever. She goes through that whole tirade. It's another great moment.
What I find interesting about it, though, is that she's kind of in this area that she's not an Aes Sedai. She hasn't gone through the entire training to become an Aes Sedai. I don't know what the final training or aspect of what becoming an Aes Sedai and the tower. I haven't been through that experience with one of these girls yet, so there's something greater that would have to happen. So she was going along and saying that she was that for the longest time, and then now she's just trying to adopt the
I don't think she's trying to. I think it's just coming out.
Yeah, it just seems like junior varsity.
Well, she hasn't stepped up to the big times yet.
I think it's really important that she have some sort of discipline, which the Aiel culture provides.
Yeah.
The Aes Sedai culture would have also provided it, but since she never spent really any time in the tower, and because of what Swan wanted her to do, was pretty much given carte blanche when she, Nynaeve, and Elaine wandered off to really do whatever they wanted to do and not have to follow any sort of discipline or rules of others. I think it's good that she's got this, because she's going to be part of a trinity that's going to be some of the most powerful Aes Sedai. And up to this point, she hasn't really demonstrated a whole lot of self-restraint. And
True.
I think that self-restraint is going to be really important.
Yep.
It's important to the Aes Sedai, because when you have all that power, you have to know how to control yourself. And so I think it's really good that she's learning discipline, even while she's lying to the Wise Ones about,
everybody.
She's still undisciplined when it comes to curtailing her own desires. But I hope we're on a path to a point where she does have some self-discipline.
It's something I was just thinking about while you're talking, not that I wasn't paying attention, but how similar in ways just the Aes Sedai society and the tower are.
The Wise Ones and the Aes Sedai.
They're both based around a caste system, a training system.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have servants. They have all this sort of stuff. They just approach it from very different ways.
The Aiel culture is a lot blunter. I think that the Aes Sedai culture eventually fosters cunning.
Well, they're used to the politics and manipulation and all that kind of crap, where the Aiel are just used to war.
They're a much more honest culture.
As much as they're similar, they're equally different.
Which also could be better. I'll be interested to see how much longer Egwene spends with them. I feel like we're getting hints that she's not going to be with the Wise Ones much longer.
Well, they want her to be there for another couple decades.
Yeah, they want her to be there for a while. So it'll be interesting to see how much more of this she absorbs and how much of it that changes her. Adam, who was your Coplin of the week?
Oh, my Coplin of the week was Grendel. Just became simpering.
Okay.
You didn't like the mush that Grendel became?
There's a mush mouth.
The putty in Sammael's hands?
Mm-hmm.
She really wilted there.
Yeah.
She was really a firebrand in the previous meeting with him, and in this one, she just totally capitulated to him. Yeah. Okay, I get that. Mine was Covril. So I'm glad you brought up the phrase that Haman uses, Adam, because I really had to think this through. So many of the women in these books are shrill or annoying,
but so many aren't.
I get a mother being concerned about her son, and Loyal has abandoned so many of the tenets of their society. And his mom is really concerned about him, but she just seems overbearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm more for Hamon's concern about Loyal and the fact that he's been out of the steading for 5 years, and that's an exceptionally long time to be away. And the last fleeting glimpses we've had of Loyal, he's dealing with depression, and he's mentioned the fact that it's coming on because I think they call it the longing. He's been away from the steading for so long. I can understand that, but man, I just could not stand Coverall. Aerith I'm okay with, but Coverall I had enough of. And I'm sort of disappointed that Rand is helping her get to the two rivers really quickly, specifically Emmons Field.
That's crazy how that happens, though. Rand's just like, he says, don't mention I was here to anybody. Why?
Well, because he doesn't want them to know he didn't say hi.
Well, I think it's less that. It's the actual, if they know he's there and can places his friends in danger type of thing. It's always like he's trying to distance himself from that.
Yeah. I thought that was a great moment we didn't mention when he just stood there for a second and looked out at where he
towards
came
his
from.
farm.
And it wasn't that long ago.
No.
However long it
and he just has
was.
to leave, squash it down and go.
Bury it down,
Poor
way
Rand.
down deep inside and never bring it up again.
That's one of the things that we talked about last episode is just how difficult his life really is when it can seem really easy to be the hero of a story.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, who was your Coplin of the week?
My Coplin link wasn't a who. It was a where, and it's Shadar Logoth. I hate that place. I hate that place. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's stupid to say nothing good comes out of that place, but nothing good comes out of that place. And like you guys mentioned, I have a sad feeling we're going to revisit it again, and I have a sad feeling it's not going to be good.
It's going to be worse the next time.
Laya's going to be there, and I just...
It's going to be lying on the ground.
Oh.
I hate that place, but I love going there. I think the description of it was so cool. And
it sounds like a Dr. Seuss village to me, with towers leaning in all sorts of crazy directions.
It's like
and
the One-Sit in the Lorax.
Sure.
Like you're picturing that goofy tower. Yes, Adam, it's like the fascinating train wreck. You're fascinated by the train wreck, but it's still a train wreck.
I think it's so crazy, though, that there is a Waygate in there.
Now it's closed.
Well, it was a major city.
But it's incredible that it was there and that it could be found, but Hammond had a hard time finding it because it was so, like, everything was so awful in there.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy that they had been there before and they passed through it and there was no mention of a Waygate, and then we get to go back and see it. I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was nice to visit it during the day. I did not find it as creepy during the day.
Even during the day, it took somebody.
Yeah, so weird.
Yep.
I don't
Well, remember, Rand and Matt and them went in during the day and they went into the building.
Yeah, but they were there closer to the...
No, it was daytime.
It was, but it was, I think it was late afternoon.
But they went into...
The problem was they went into the building. So she probably went into a building. Who knows
she
why?
Probably went into a building. Yep, absolutely.
Rand told everybody to stick close and not to do...
Well, you know that place. They keep
he warned them
me.
about that too. He warned them about every inevitability, and so whatever she did,
liar.
Something that wasn't mentioned when they visited here was that Hammond talked to Rand and said, "You must not kill yourself. The road ahead of you is long, dark, and very much bloodstained.
Don't kill yourself to live." In the
I
words of
also
propane.
fear that you will take us all down that road, but you must live to reach the end
Right.
of it.
Well, he knows, like I said, where Rand goes, death follows.
What is Rand supposed to do? Thanks
for that.
Thanks for
Whatever
the sunny
I'll
outlook.
also be like, I know this. I've read these, I've read a couple books lately.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, every place I've gone, people have died.
Yeah. Who leveled up? Adam.
Who leveled up is someone that wasn't actually in these chapters, but it's Loyal getting the heck out of his family's lifestyle.
Getting away from those people.
Yeah, 5 years ago, just going out and being like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to explore.
He's breaking the law, breaking the law.
So specifically,
but now they're hunting him down.
You're excited about Loyal getting away from Coverall is really what my Coplin.
It's not Coverall, it's just the whole idea. He needed to go out and experience something instead of just being around there and having
He got away from the stump, Adam.
So it's not just his family, it's the society as a whole.
rich
Well,
and
I
compelling.
mean, a lot of it seems to be his family.
Okay. And the only
His
part of
dad
his
seems
family
cool,
that we
though.
know is Coverall.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
also I'm
yeah.
not necessarily
Yeah, where's his
on board
dad?
with his quote unquote fiance.
Yeah, and Aerith I'm not sold on. But she likes him in his ears, so and he's very brave.
He is very brave, and then she wants to like stop that bravery.
Right. He's so brave he can't
She wants
be brave
to
ever
to stop
again.
all of the things she loves about him.
Right.
Well, I mean, one of the things.
Yeah.
Mine was Sammael.
Oh,
Way to go, buddy.
Oh,
he enhanced his evilness.
there
Yeah.
you go.
He got better.
This is unlike Eric.
Yeah.
Pick the evil.
He didn't pick someone's nose.
No, that's Adam.
I know.
I think Sammael
And that's also a
did an amazing
Coplin
job this
thing.
week, and I'm very proud of him. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of him.
He's such a big boy.
He's such a good boy. Dave, who leveled up for you?
Barreling.
Barely barreling.
Barreling leveled up. She's increasing her holdings.
She's increasing her
almost killed her.
hormones.
She is ensconcing herself everywhere, and she is being accepted.
She's
I think
killing
she
it as a
leveled up
leader.
for me within the past 2 weeks.
She leveled up for me
I
last
could be
week.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's,
was you? Yeah.
She's an up-and-coming one. Got to keep your eye on that one.
Yeah,
Not just because she's pretty.
I'm very happy
Oh
for
no,
her.
I am pro Barreline. Is she a daughter of the Nine Moons?
I don't
No.
know.
No,
She's the first
she's
of
not.
Maine.
I'd like
I
to
mean,
see her
she
end
could
up
be
with
a
Matt.
daughter of it, but we think we've discovered that Daughter of the Nine Moons is a
The Court of the Nine
Sean-Chan
Moons
thing.
is in Sean-Chan, so
Yeah.
I would think
So-
that the daughter
Yeah,
would
we
be
know
from
that.
that court.
We
Probably
know that.
not.
I just want
her.
Barreline to end up with.
Someone.
Oh, maybe
Ooh.
Tom Maryland.
Ooh,
Tom
Barrelane and Tom Maryland
Wow.
to Barrelin.
You're doing the Benifer thing?
I'm doing whatever. I'm
To
melding
Maryland.
words.
To Maryland. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Horrible.
All right. That wraps up episode 5. Join us for episode 6 when we'll read The Lord of Chaos, chapters 25 through 31. Until then, may you rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull, and cheese to give you many cubs.
Do viendes et tovias again.
Woohoo!
Yay!